You have been given or will be given a handout that outlines our weight loss plan. There are a few principles that we'd like to review with you in order for you to better understand how that you're going to follow our plan. The first principle is actually measuring calories. We're going to place women on a 1,200 calorie diet and men on a 1,500 calorie diet. There may be a few exceptions, and we'll visit with you individually about that. In order to stick to this low calorie count, in most cases we'll use an appetite suppressant to help you. And we'll give you specific details as to which appetite suppressant fits you the best. As you look at your calorie count, it's important for you to recognize that you need to follow the food labels that are on cans and boxes. On the food label, it'll indicate a serving equals such and such a size. If it says a cup, then follow and you measure a cup. If it says so many ounces or grams, then you're going to need a scale in order to measure ounces or grams. It's important to actually measure and not estimate. We are horrible estimators. For example, if I give you a box of cereal and the food label says 1 serving equals 1 cup and 1 serving equals 100 calories, then you want to measure exactly 1 cup. If I were to ask you just to estimate by pouring the cereal into a bowl without measuring, and then we in turn take the cereal and pour it back into a cup, in most cases you would get closer to 2 cups than 1 cup. So actually measure the serving size. The next principle is drinking 6 to 8 glasses of water a day. We ask you to focus primarily on water because water is a very healthy part of our diet, and your body actually needs water in order to burn fat. If there's not enough water in your body, the body will bypass weight loss in order to preserve other body functions. Sometimes people will ask, can I put flavors in there? Be cautious in what you do. We'd prefer that you not use any artificial flavorings because they contain artificial sweeteners, and artificial sweeteners have been shown to cause weight gain. Stick to citrus or other natural flavors such as lemon, lime, or other things like that, and you'll do better in your weight loss journey. The next principle is trying to eliminate, if possible, all soda from your diet. That means even diet soda. Recent research has shown that even diet soda can cause individuals to gain weight. The difficulty with eliminating soda is we love and feel addicted to the fizziness in our throat. We understand that. But do your best to try to eliminate the soda from your diet. If caffeine is an issue, there are over-the-counter caffeine tablets that you can use to slowly reduce the caffeine from what you're taking in to help prevent headaches. The next principle is trying to include protein in every meal. The reason for this is that protein digests more slowly, and so you feel fuller longer. Protein sources don't have to be just meat. They can include dairy products, they can include eggs, even the whole egg. It can include protein powders and shakes, but be cautious to select those that have lower amounts of sugar. When you also look at protein sources, be cautious with soy proteins. Soy proteins in many individuals will actually cause them to gain weight because of swelling and other issues related to hormones. The next principle is a little bit more difficult, and we'll spend a little bit more time on this, and that has to do with the carbohydrates. We all have been told and understand that there are good carbohydrates and bad carbohydrates. In order to try to find the best carbohydrates, we encourage you to use the glycemic index. This is something you'll find online. You can print charts for free. Please don't pay for them. And the chart will indicate the glycemic index number that is associated with each food. Years ago, the University of Sydney in Australia went through and calculated how quickly foods or the sugars within those foods were absorbed. The reason this is important is the faster the sugar is absorbed, the higher and the quicker the insulin rise. Now, insulin doesn't just control blood sugar, it also controls fat and fat burn. The higher the insulin, the lower the fat burn. So we do not want insulin. Insulin becomes our enemy. So if I eat a food that's absorbed very rapidly, say drinking a glass of juice, it's going to cause my insulin to go up quickly as my sugar goes up quickly. And we don't want that. So we need to find foods that are absorbed more slowly. The index goes from 1 to 100. Foods that are very low or slow in their absorption, such as certain fibrous vegetables like broccoli and other things like that, have a very low glycemic index number. Foods that are absorbed very rapidly, like certain fruits, are going to have a higher glycemic index number. Also, starchy foods are going to have a higher glycemic index number. We want you to stick to glycemic index numbers less than 60. If you do find a food that you must eat that's higher than 60, treat it like a dessert and eat it very sparingly and on very rare occasions. The next principle has to do with something that most patients are uncomfortable doing, and that is weighing yourself daily. We encourage you to do a daily weight, even though there are those among trainers and other nutritionists who would indicate that that is a bad idea. Those principles that they're referring to are based on bad science, or actually no science at all. Someone several years ago made the statement that if I am weighing myself on a frequent basis, I have a higher incidence of having an eating disorder. That was not based on any science. It was purely an idea that they came up with, their own theory. Since then, the actual research has shown just the opposite. Those who weigh themselves daily are more successful at weight loss and more successful at keeping weight off. The way we want you to do it, as outlined on your handout, is that you weigh yourself first thing in the morning, before you eat or drink anything, after you've gone to the bathroom, and no clothes on. You then record that weight, and it serves as a dry baseline weight to compare yourself every day. The next two principles on the list are not specifically diet principles, but simply work with side effects related to the medication. The first one has to do with sleep, and the second one has to do with constipation. If you have either of those problems, we invite you just to follow carefully the instructions that are listed there.